Did you know that wire fraud is a $9.5 billion a year industry? I hate to call it an industry because it's people stealing your money. But the thing is, this isn't some dude in his mom's basement, with an email that he stole trying to steal money. This is big money being invested in trying to take your money in the middle of a real estate transaction. We're going to break down the 5 tips to keep you from becoming the next victim of wire fraud, because it's real. This is Steve, real estate agent with the Malone Home Team EXP in the Atlanta area. Thanks for joining us today. All right, if you wouldn't mind liking and following so we can keep these videos getting out there into the world. All right, so we always like to talk about what's going on in the market, sometimes highlighting different areas, things like that. Today, what we're going to talk about is wire fraud. Okay, this is something that one of our buyers actually saw a spoof email, a bad email that came across saying, hey, send us the wire here. We tell our people all the time the 5 things that I'm about to tell you. So they sniffed it out pretty quick. We were able to help them out. Okay, so there are bad people out there looking to separate you from your money. Okay, this is just one of those avenues. There's lots of different avenues and lots of different fields. Wire fraud is real, though. Okay, as I said in the open, $9.5 billion. We learned that in a contracts class earlier this year. You think, you get wire fraud here and there. No, $9.5 billion. This isn't just a couple of guys. They stole a laptop and they got a couple emails. This is like big companies, maybe overseas, whatever it is. There's big money to be made. So there's big players trying to make that money, and to do that, they're doing some very sophisticated stuff, and we see a lot of it. So this is going to change. We're going to have to update this pretty often because they're going to come up with different strategies, things like that. I'm going to give you the 5 tips. I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say it after the 5 tips. If there's ever anything in the process as you're buying a house, okay, on the sell side, all right, this is for buyers. On the sell side, you're typically not going to give your number out, your wiring instructions out or whatever, or your wire to somebody until you get the closing table. You'll give somebody a check there. You can do everything in person there, okay? We're talking about when you're moving your money to wire to the next place, okay? If there's ever any questions, if something doesn't seem right, if it just feels weird, call your agent, call your lender, call the lawyer, okay? Look their numbers up. We're going to get into that here in the top 5 tips, but I'm going to start by saying if it seems weird, make a phone call. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars. The problem with wire fraud is if the bad guy comes and steals changes stuff up and steals your money, and you wire it to somebody who has, accounts in the islands somewhere, and it starts bouncing around and thinning out into different accounts, or maybe it goes the other way, goes over into China, and then we can't get in through that way. We've heard of that happening. You just don't know where it's going to happen. Okay, but when it does happen, it's not the lender's fault. They didn't send it. It's not the agent's fault. They didn't send it. It's not the lawyer's fault. They didn't send it. It's not your fault. You didn't send it either. It's the bad guy's fault. Sometimes we just don't know where they are, and you're going to have a hard time getting your money back. Okay, so I tell all my people, do we lose sleep over this? No. Do not lose sleep over this. Do we treat this like the big deal that it is? Yes, because it is a big deal. $9.5 billion. That's a lot of money. Okay, so how do we protect ourselves? Top 5. Here we go. To keep this from being overly edited, because I'm just not that guy, we're just going to do all 5 right here. All right, so the number 1 thing is you are only going to send money to the lawyer. Okay, only send money to the lawyer. The lender doesn't need your money. The agent doesn't need your money. Okay, a lot of times people get texts from the agent saying, hey, I need you to wire me your money. Or from the lender. That's not from the agent. That's not from the lender. It's from somebody else. You will never wire your money to the lender. You'll never wire your money to the agent. We see another spoof thing that we've seen is where agents actually, or with AI, people are using voices and impersonating agents on the phone, calling their people saying, hey, I'm out of town. Can you send me some money because my car broke down? And then they call the agent back and say, are you really out of town? They're like, no, I'm not out of town. Somebody spoofed their voice, because they pull from YouTube videos like this, spoofed their voice and created a way to try and separate people from their money. Don't ever wire your agent money. I tell my people all the time, I don't want your money. That's not my job. Okay, don't wire me money. Don't wire your lender money. The lawyer is the only person that you're going to wire money to. So keep that in mind. That's number one. So if you see something other than that, your antenna should go up. Number two, be aware or be wary, I should say, of last minute changes. So if you hear that in an email, or you see that in an email, say, "Hey, last minute closing instruction changes," that's a red flag. Okay, real estate transactions are pretty boring. Once you're in the machine, everything kind of slowly goes along. Now, there are things that happen and whatever, but as far as like wiring instructions don't ever change. The closing attorneys had that same account forever. So that's not going to change. So if you see an email that says last minute wiring instructions, that's probably that's a red flag that something happened. So pay no attention to that email, report it, whatever. All right, so that's number two. Last minute wiring changes, don't pay any attention to it. Number three, anytime you get wiring instructions, whether it says last minute, whether it says, there's the wiring instructions, whatever, we always call to verify the wiring instructions. Always, 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 always. Okay. Some agents, some lender or lawyers, I should say, some lawyers will have their own dedicated site where you can go on and do everything online. Some of them, they have everything, encrypted and whatever. Everybody's got a different thing. There's no harm at all in calling the lawyer to say, "I got your wiring instructions. Let's walk through it together." Okay? Because again, like I said in the beginning, there's no stupid questions when it comes to protecting tens of thousands of dollars. Okay? That's why you hire professionals. You hire professionals to protect your money. And I'm sorry, I bought 3 houses in my life. My first house, the house we bought earlier, and then we had that little Airbnb we always talk about. Each time wiring money is kind of creepy. And the last time, I'm an agent. I still get creeped out. I did everything I'm supposed to do, and I still get creeped out. Okay? It's okay to be creeped out. I'd be creeped out too. Again, $9.5 billion industry. People are trying to take your money. If there's something that doesn't seem right, call somebody. If they say, no, it's cool, great. All right? But that ties into number 4. Okay? Number 4, you're always going to Google their number. Okay? Always. If the lawyer, let's say Bob's lawyer, okay? If Bob's lawyer sends you an email saying, "Here's the wiring instructions, call us to verify," and you call that number, there's no guarantee that that's the right wiring instruction. And if they change the wiring instructions, they probably change the phone number too, because they're probably doing this all over the country. They probably have somebody dedicated on that phone number saying, "Bob's lawyer," and then there you have it, okay? I always tell my people, Google the phone number of the people. It's always a good idea too to, in the beginning of the process, as you're starting to work with your agent, you're starting to work with your lender, starting to work with your lawyer, have the numbers written down somewhere. So that way, in an event that, I kind of feel weird, you already have their numbers right there. But Google the number just to be sure. Independent source, be sure the phone number is absolutely right, because I don't want you calling the bad guys to verify the wire instructions, because they'll say, "Oh yeah, those are fine." Okay? Then, final one. Never, ever, ever verify the wiring instructions through an incoming call. Okay? It is very, very easy to make an incoming phone call look like another number. Okay? We have phone systems that we use, and I can either have it be my office number or my cell phone number, or I have a number through the system. We can interchange those numbers and whatever. You can change your number. That's surprisingly easy to do. Okay, so if the lawyer calls you and say, "Hey, let's go over your wiring instructions," you tell them, "Actually, I'm going to give you a call back and we'll verify the wiring instructions." And if they get freaked out by it, it's because it's not them. Okay, and I have no problem with if I ever call somebody and say something, say, "Well, just to be 100% sure, I'm going to call you back." 100%. You got to protect your money, and I get that. Okay, so never, ever, 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 ever verify wiring instructions through an incoming call. Okay, so that's number 5. And I will finish this all up by saying, again, there are no dumb questions. There's no issues that you should feel weird. I don't want to. That's why you hire your agent. Okay, I tell my people all the time. That's why I'm here. I'm here to protect your money. I'm here to help you buy a house. I'm here to help you be sure that the house is a good house. I'll help you do all that stuff. But I'm here to protect your money. That's part of the legacy thing that we push here. Okay, this is a financial investment. Yes, it's a house. Yes, it's a home, but it's a financial investment for you and your family. And that's not a good financial investment if you got tens of thousands of dollars walking out the door. Okay, so no dumb questions. Always call, always ask. All right, so there are the big five. As we said, what you want to do is you want to send money to the lawyer only, not to your lender, not to your agent. If your lender or agent asking for money, it's not them. Be aware of last minute change emails. There's not going to be last minute change emails, more than likely. And if there is, you call them to verify it, okay? Number three, you're always going to call to verify the wiring instructions, okay? Always call to verify. It's not out of the ordinary. They're expecting the call. Sometimes they'll send you a thing that says, some lawyers are so crazy about it right now. They're saying, look, we're not sending you the wiring instructions until you call us, and we're going to give you the whatever to unlock the the email and blah blah blah. I mean, people are really starting to lock down about it, which is good. I mean, we need to protect people from the bad guys. You always want to Google the number of the lawyer. All right, so that's number four. Always Google their number before you call them. Be sure it's the right number. Okay, because the bad guys, they change the wiring instruction number or the wiring number, they're going to change the phone number. And finally, again, never verify instructions over the phone. Okay. And your bonus one I'll give you is when you're verifying the wiring instructions, don't read it to them, have them read it to you. Because if I'm the bad guy, I'd say I'm going to send it to and I say sure. But they say back to give you the number and it's the right number. That's how you know it's correct. So let them read the number to you. Okay, that's how you verify it. But always Google, always call. Again, I'm not losing sleep over this. But this is something that we absolutely have to do every single time. I had a buyer once who bought a house cash, something in the mid threes, so like a 350-ish house, and he never got a hold of the lawyer to verify the wiring instructions. And I told him, just keep trying. I'll ping them, let them know, whatever. And he wired the money without verifying the instructions, and it took a minute for the wire to come over because it was a big wire, I guess, and they didn't have it. And that was a long hour. Finally, it showed up and everything was fine. And I about had an ulcer through that one. Please call to verify the wiring instructions. Okay. If you have any questions about that, always ask your agent. If you're looking for an agent, here you go. If you're looking in the North Atlanta area, our team takes care of everybody here. Give us a call, 470-233-4409. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any horror stories you want to share, leave them below. If you have any other comments, leave them below too. Because this is something we're going to have to probably update once a year because the bad guys are going to come up with new ways to try and get our money. We just got to stay on top of it. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day. Bye.